Every year, millions of Filipinos face devastating floods. Billions of pesos are poured into flood control projects. But here's the shocking truth. Many of those projects are riddled with corruption, ghost contracts, and incomplete work. The result? Instead of protection, communities are left drowning in lies. Today, we uncover how flood control became one of the dirtiest games in Philippine politics. Flood control projects are supposed to save lives. Dikes, drainage systems, pumping stations. For decades, politicians promised, never again will floods drown our communities. But here's the twist. Flood control has become a favorite playground for corruption. Why? Because these projects are massive, technical, and hard to check. Perfect for padding budgets, inflating contracts, and pocketing taxpayer money. Since the 1970s, billions were allocated to protect Metro Manila from floods. In fact, a huge Japanese-funded plan in the 1980s could have solved much of the flooding we see today. But delays, overpriced contracts, and politics got in the way. By the 2000s, reports revealed that flood projects were among the most graft-ridden government programs in the Philippines. Fake contractors, ghost deliveries of construction materials, even drainage systems that were never built, but fully paid for. When Typhoon Ondoy hit in 2009, parts of Metro Manila went underwater in less than 6 hours. Over 700 lives were lost, and damage reached billions of pesos. Experts later revealed many flood control systems could have lessened the damage, but they either didn't exist or were substandard because of corruption. And every year since then, history repeats itself. Funds are released, projects announced, but the floods remain. What do you think hurts the Philippines more? Natural disasters or corrupt officials misusing disaster funds? Drop your answer in the comments. I want to see what you all think. Here's how the flood control scam usually works. Politicians allocate billions to flood projects. Contractors, sometimes just shell companies, get the bids. Projects are either overpriced, left unfinished, or never built. Audits are delayed, and by the time the truth comes out, the money is gone. It's a cycle of corruption that leaves citizens paying the price, with their taxes, their homes, and sometimes their lives.
Works Secretary Vince Dizon fires a suspended district engineer after discovering yet another ghost flood control project in Bulacan. He also blacklisted the contractor in charge of the project. Andrea Taguines reports.
Hindi tao yung gumawa nito, hayop. Mga hayop ang gumawa nito, hindi sila tao. Para gawin nila to sa mga kababayan natin. And believe me, itong mga hayop na to, makukulong yan.
Anger and disbelief from new Public Works Secretary Vince Dizon after uncovering yet another questionable flood control project in Barangay Sipat, Plaridel, Bulacan. According to DPWH records, the nearly 100 million peso dike was declared complete in June of 2024, which was even ahead of schedule. So the contractor, Wow Builders, also received an early payment. But when Dizon arrived at the site on Thursday, construction was still underway.
The subcontractor explained that it has only been 3 weeks since they were hired by Wow Builders to work on this segment of the dike along Angat River. That's why, if you look at it, they still have a lot left to cover.
Dizon suspects this isn't simply a delayed project.
Siguro, 3 weeks ago, umiinit. Nag-iimbestiga na ang Senado, nag-iimbestiga na ang Kongreso, nagalit na ang Pangulo. Pinipilit buhayin yung patay. Wala na to eh, ghost project ito eh.
Those who signed off on the papers, former Bulacan 1st District Engineer Henry Alcantara, his Assistant District Engineer, and the head of the construction section, all of whom are already on the Immigration Bureau's lookout bulletin.
Henry Alcantara, effective today, is dismissed. Bryce Fernandez, JP Mendoza, I will already begin proceedings of dismissal, and next week, I will ask the DPWH legal to recommend filing charges, the appropriate charges.
Dizon also ordered the lifetime blacklisting of Wow Builders and Sims Construction Trading, which was previously linked to another ghost flood control project in Bulacan.
Thankfully, journalists, whistleblowers, and watchdog groups have exposed many of these schemes. Citizens are demanding accountability. In recent years, new anti-corruption laws and digital monitoring of infrastructure projects have been introduced, but the fight is far from over. And until corruption ends, every rainy season becomes a gamble. Will the flood control systems hold, or will we drown again? What's the worst flood you've ever experienced in your area? Share your story in the comments. I want to feature some of them in a future video. Let me tell you about one community in Pampanga. Residents were promised a massive dike project that would protect their town. The project was launched with fanfare, but years later, only a small section was built, just enough for the ribbon-cutting ceremony. When the floods came, the dike broke instantly. Families lost homes, crops were destroyed, and many had to flee. For them, corruption didn't just steal money, it stole their safety and future.
Harap po si Presidente na 2024, naka-budget na po, gagawin na, tatapusin na po. Umabot po tayo ng 2025, hindi pa rin po tapos. Presidente na po mismo yung nagsabi sa kanila, hindi pa rin ho nila tinapos itong daan natin.
Secretary Pangandaman assured local officials that a 1 billion peso quick response fund is available for road projects affected by inclement weather. But she also raised concerns about prioritizing the right projects, noting that some roads that did not require repairs were fixed, while those in dire need were overlooked.
The truth is, corruption in flood control projects has drowned the Philippines in lies for decades. But by exposing these stories, demanding transparency, and choosing leaders who prioritize people over profit, we can break the cycle. If you found this video eye-opening, hit that like button, share it with a friend, and don't forget to subscribe for more deep dives into the hidden history behind the Philippines we live in. Stay safe, stay informed, and I'll see you in the next one.